interesting thing happened to me last night. My dog, who is right there, she decided to chase a small baby possum into the garage, the studio. And then I had to basically strip the entire place down to find it. I did find it, and no, I did not kill it. I put it back in the yard after I put the dog in the house, and so the possum got away to hide off and do its thing. Kind of a problem with possums. They clean up the yard. So I had to strip down the entire office, so while I was in here at 10 o'clock at night, I thought might as well clean up. It's a little bit cleaner in here and a little bit more dust-free. Now, I probably could have left the little guy in here overnight because there's a couple of holes in the garage that he probably could have gotten out of because he was small. But I'm much more secure in the idea that he got out rather than leaving him here and hoping he got out and instead bringing in a bunch of his siblings and mom, because I don't want that. Knowing is better than not knowing, right? I tell my friends this all the time. No matter what may be the outcome of something, it's much better to know the outcome, good or bad, than to sit and ponder it and wonder what's gonna happen. Knowing, much better than not knowing. The reason I'm bringing up this thought today is because I've been thinking a lot about things that I've done, changes I've made very recently that I'm starting to second guess already. If you've been following along for a while now, that I recently switched my mindset around the products that I was offering. Much of the stuff that I was offering, am offering, is done through a service called Printful.com. Basically, direct-to-print service that allows me to put my stuff onto things, but without having to make the actual investment in the things until you buy them. Mugs, hats, prints, phone covers, whatever. The beauty initially for Printful was that their name isn't on anything. It's my branding on everything, and so it essentially feels like it's coming from me. You buy a print, you buy a mug, you buy something, it feels like it's coming from me. That sounds really great, except for one small factor. This is not a complaint about Printful because they actually do a really good job and I'm actually very happy with their work. However, there's this disconnection to the product. I put up something for sale, like a print or a mug. You buy it. I don't have any attachment to it after that fact. The order gets processed and then it gets mailed off to you, but I don't know what happens between the time that you order and the time that you receive the product. I don't know how long it takes. I don't know what the condition will be. I don't know how it's being shipped. I don't know how you are going to receive it, and I don't know what your user experience is going to be through the whole thing. That bugs me a little bit. And again, not Printful's problem, because it's my stuff being sold on my website. I take full responsibility for all of that. Because I wasn't comfortable with that whole process, what I decided to do was instead take all the product and bring it in-house. The idea was that I wanted to take this stuff and make it limited edition in nature. It sounded really great in theory, but in practice, it hasn't been quite as I'd hoped. Couple of reasons. Number one, it's very expensive to buy all that stuff up front. It costs a lot of money to go and make the investment in the 25 prints or the 25 mugs or the 25 hats. Quite honestly, I don't have all the capital I need to turn around and just buy all that stuff. Number two, it takes up a lot of space. I had to clean up my space here because I needed to make room for some of the things that I already had. And I'm gonna run out if I keep doing that. Number three, I'm responsible for all the fulfillment, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's, again, one of the things that I despise the most about this whole business process. Not that I dislike it, it's just that it's most cumbersome and it's my least favorite thing to do. It's the reason I went to direct-to-print in the first place, was to alleviate the fulfillment aspect out of the products that I made. Third thing is that people just didn't buy like I thought they would. And so I made all this investment in all these products and not that many people bought. And so I haven't gotten a return on my investment yet, and it hurt. Look, I won't say it's a bad decision, but it definitely wasn't the best decision for me financially because I didn't have the proof that I would get as many sales as I expected in order to kind of necessitate the growth. So this has been a bit of a learning process, and I have decided that I am going to flip the script on that again. I've decided to go back to a direct-to-print provider, but in a different way. Instead of doing direct-to-print through Printful, where everything looks like it's coming from me, but yet I don't have any control, and so if something goes wrong, it looks like it's my fault, but even though I didn't really have an opportunity to do anything about it, instead of doing that, and instead of buying all the products myself and then offering them up, so instead what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to another direct-to-print service so that I can offer up a shop for my merch so that people can buy the direct-to-print things and I don't really have to have my hands in it, but with one difference. I've decided to go to a print service that has a name already, one that's well established within the art community. That way it takes a little bit of the pressure off me to be the provider of things. You know, when you go there, you are buying from them, you're gonna get the fulfillment from them, all the products are basically coming from them. It has their name on it. It just happens to have my stuff. So effective immediately, I am going to be moving all of my things over to Society 6. Now, I haven't completely done that. I've only got a couple things up there yet, but I've decided to take my stuff to society6.com because of all the things that I just said. Good reputation within the art community, understand artists, believe and support artists, do the direct-to-print thing, give me some space to be able to do my art and not worry about the fulfillment, and also they're willing to take the hit on the things that go wrong, and I am not necessarily culpable. So my dog just quickly got up and exited the studio all of a sudden, and now I'm hearing this chirping of this squirrel out there just pissed off because of her. Make no mistake, she may be blind, old, and bumping into things, but she will find that critter if she can, and she will kill. She is a cold, hard killer through and through. One of the reasons why I love her the most. All of that other stuff aside, here's the real lesson from today. Test, tune, see what works, implement change, move on. Really, that's a very fast process for me. As soon as I figured out that the direct-to-print thing with Printful was good, but didn't work quite the way I wanted it to, I moved on. As soon as I figured out that having all this material at home and waiting for it to be sold wasn't working for me either, I'm gonna move on. And if Society 6 still doesn't work, I'm gonna find something new and I'm gonna move on. There's something to be said about sticking to your guns, but this is not that. I'm sticking to my guns about making art. I'm sticking to my guns about making things. I'm sticking to my guns about promoting and sharing on different various platforms. And I'm sticking to my guns to support other artists as much as I possibly can. How that manifests itself and where that manifests itself is going to change on a regular basis. Currently, I work on YouTube and I work on Facebook and I work on Instagram and I also work in other places, but those may change as well. I'm already starting to look into Twitch a little bit further. Started streaming on there a couple of days ago and I'm digging it. Will it be the end all be all? I don't know. Will it kill off my usage here on YouTube? I don't know. What matters is that I'm trying out these new things, I'm testing them, I'm tuning them, I'm figuring out what works or what doesn't work. I'm making some changes and then I'm moving on. I refuse to get romantic about any of these things because when you get romantic about the work you do, that's when you get too emotionally invested and you're not willing to see the whole picture. You're not willing to look at the macro level of things because you're so focused on the idea of like, I gotta do this thing this way because I said I was gonna do it this thing this way. And I'm sorry folks, but that's not how business works. As much as I like to play an artist on TV, really what I am is a business owner. I'm trying to own this art business, I'm trying to run this art business, and so I have to think like that first. What's good for the business, not what's good for my image. Not what's easy to do because it's comfortable, not what's fun to do because that's where all my friends are hanging out. I'm here to run a business. And if the business calls for me to go to a different place to do the thing that I need to do, then I'm gonna go to a different place to do the thing. All right, folks, that's it. I'm done with the Ranty McRanterson gig. Make sure you go check out the Society 6 because I'm gonna be putting stuff up there on a regular basis. There's not a ton there yet, but there will be, so go check that out. Secondly, you should go check me out on Twitch. I don't have a regular schedule there yet, but most likely Tuesdays and Thursdays, maybe a few other days during the week where I get down here, right here in the space, I get down in here and you get to see me live paint for hours. And so that's kind of cool. You can find me, I'll put the link in the description, twitch.tv/DaveConreyArt. Aside from that, you can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the other places as Dave Conrey. Well, Facebook is facebook.com/DaveConreyArt, Twitter, Dave Conrey, Instagram, Dave Conrey, Snapchat, Dave Conrey. I'm Dave Conrey pretty much everywhere except where I'm not. Yes, that's it. We're done. Remember folks, be good today, be even better tomorrow. See ya.